Grade 4, Module 5, Lesson 1 homework. Problem number 1. Draw a number bond and write the number sentence to match each tape diagram. The first one is done for you. So it looks like we need to do a couple of things. I'm going to underline what we need to do. So we need to draw a number bond, and we need to write a number sentence to match each tape diagram. So if we look at the first one, we can see that the tape diagram is divided up into one whole, and we can see there's 1, 2, 3 pieces to that. And that's why it's broken down into thirds. Shaded region is 2/3, and we have a 1/3 here and a 1/3 here. So that's how the first one's broken down. So let's try letter B and see what we can do with that one. We have a tape diagram that's giving us the entire tape diagram as in one whole, and it's broken into 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces. And I'm just tagging them as I go. And each piece of, if you're only representing one little block, is going to represent 1/4. 1/4, because it's one of those 4 pieces. So if we look what that means together, we can see that the tape diagram is actually 1/2 of the entire tape diagram. So 1/2 equals the 1/4 plus 1/4. And if we're going to try to put that into a number bond, we can break that down. 1/2 breaks into 1/4 and 1/4. I'm going to skip down to letter E. It's still, this tape diagram is still representing 1, a whole value of 1. And let's see how many pieces it's broken into. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So it's being broken down into 8s. The first little bracket here is representing 2 of those 8 pieces, and the second bracket is representing 1 of those 8 pieces. Altogether, that makes 3 of the 8 pieces. We have 1, 2, 3 of the 8 pieces. So 3/8 equals 2/8 plus 1/8. We can write a number bond for that. 3/8 is going to equal our 2/8 added to our 1/8. And let's try one more on page 1 here of this homework. Letter G. This one's represented into, it has a hole right here, but it also has 2 extra pieces. So I'm going to go about this the same way that we did before. I'm going to count how many pieces are in the hole. 1, 2, 3, 4 pieces in the hole. So it's being broken down into fourths, because there's 1/4, 1/4, 1/4, and 1/4. So let's see what each bracket represents. This bracket looks to go between here and here. It's kind of hard to see on here, so I'm going to mark it. And that's going to represent 3/4. And then there's another bracket that goes from my last one to here, and that represents 2 of those 4s. And then it has a little bracket right here for just the single, which is 1/4. So I know we're talking about fourths, so I'm going to mark that as my denominator down there. And how many do I have altogether? I had 4 as my whole, 5, 6. So the whole thing that we're talking about in the tape diagram is 6/4. And we can see that that breaks down to 1. And if I look at what this represents over here, it's going to be half of my 1. So it's 1 and 1/2. If you wanted to call that 1 and 2/4, you could also do that. And that's going to represent the addition sentence of 3/4 plus 2/4 plus 1/4. So if I put this into a number bond, I'm going to look at it as 1 and 1/2. And that represents 3/4. That decomposes into 3/4, 2/4, that 4 is kind of messy, and 1/4.